Previously on Lost.
Greetings, Ron Smalek.
And Fellonius the Wizard, back with Previously on Lost Season 6.
Yay!
Yeah, and we had a bit of a dip last week, but I would say it's balanced up.
Yeah, so this week is slightly better than last week, is what you're saying?
Yep. Yeah, more or less. Or should I say, the key word is balance.
Sure.
I will probably get back to that later.
Yeah, this week we're talking about episodes 6, 7, and 8, which is Sundown, Dr. Linus, and Recon.
Yep.
Sundown was not what I thought it was going to be about.
No, it wasn't. It was about Sayid.
Yeah, I forgot about this episode until it happened.
Yeah.
And then I kind of forgot about it afterwards, or want to.
It's important.
So, how should we talk about this? Do we want to separate the Flash Sideways and the 2007 On Island stuff?
We might try that, but remember, each stuff has a balance between them. It feels like if something needs to happen in the good timeline in order for the bad stuff to be understandable, or vice versa. So it might be so troublesome, but the 2004, we call it, right, with Sayid, isn't that strange.
2007, right?
No, that's the bad one.
Oh, yes, sorry. Correct. You got it. And so I feel like this episode creates three things that need to balance.
Yeah.
One is the Flash Sideways, what you call the good timeline.
Yeah.
Where Sayid is doing his thing. Actually, I don't know what he's doing, but he's helping his jerk of a brother.
Yep.
And that
finally,
and that really is a totally separate timeline than the island stuff up to 2007.
Yes.
And in 2007 on the island, he is infected or whatever, and he's doing things that are completely different than what he did before.
Yeah.
So, I feel like there's three Saids happening, and I really don't know which one I like.
Well, you will probably not need to know. But it starts with Sayid being evil enough to help his brother, they thought. That is the brother side. He has been evil before, so he can be evil again and fix things for his brother. Now, actually, Sayid refuses.
First off, I don't really understand why, if this is supposed to be the good timeline, why is he not with Nadia? Isn't that what he was supposed to be with?
The brother isn't dead yet. Just you.
But wouldn't it have been a better timeline?
I think his explanation later on in the timeline is that he has a lot of things on his mind, and he would not be able to love her 100% and give her what he wants to give her. But this is just some sort of cultural stuff. It feels like it's a bad thing.
Yeah, okay, so that's what I was going to say. Does anyone in the actual world ever think that way?
Not that I know of.
Aren't we all too selfish? If there's somebody we want...
And actually, the one you love is the one that could understand and help you most.
Yeah.
That is how I feel about it.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be, for me, the only reason to get someone to be with. It is that I need that security, or even giving that same security back, of course. Yeah. It is a give and take, or give and get, sort of. But in his case, he's using that as his argument to not be evil and to not be with Nadia.
You know what? Maybe the reason it doesn't work for me is because we haven't seen anything leading up to this. We're just dropped right into his life, and it's so different on the balance.
He's been to to Australia, we guess, because he was on the plane. But he's been out around looking for stuff for oil companies or whatever. That didn't even sell to me.
It just didn't feel like. I mean, just because somebody, so like, if you were in the war and you were an interrogator and then you come back from the war, like, I don't know, do people think of you as a bad guy that they can use? I don't know. Anyway,
had they dared to, I should say, had they dared to put religion into this, it might have been working for some of us.
Yeah.
Not me, and probably not you either, because it's not the right religion. But perhaps it would have been working. Now we are supposed to be thinking this.
Yeah.
No, that's not the Saeed we have learned to love, and whatever else we will do with him. But the interesting is, at the same time in the 2007, Saeed is going to have to prove that he's good enough to help Dogen, the dog. Dogon.
That is true. And
so he has to be evil in the one timeline, and he has to be good in the other timeline in order to prove something for someone.
Oh, yeah.
That's the balance stuff.
It's mirrored, right? So, yeah. So he's got to be good and then do evil things, or he's got to be evil but do good things.
Yeah.
Now, before we leave the Flash sideways, I did like Kimi and the guy that was like the restaurant owner that captured Saeed is the same guy that captures him and brings him to Kimi's restaurant. Like, I just I liked that Kimi was in it. I'm not saying I liked the story part. The story was fine.
Yeah.
and I like that he rescues Jin. That was a surprise.
That was something good.
But then we don't see Jin at all in the next two episodes. We see Linus and then we see Sawyer. So we never see. So like Jin, it's like too long waiting to find out why was Jin there, in my opinion.
That's why this doesn't really work for none of us, because we don't want these spots to be about one person all the time. And that's why the bad timeline is working much better for us, because we see a lot of people there. And it's much easier to follow them.
Yeah, so I think, this part of the episode was fine. I didn't really have an issue, except I was a little annoyed.
Yeah,
but and I kept thinking...
Remember one thing.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I kept thinking, is blondie lady Shannon going to show up? And then he's got to decide between Shannon and...
oh, Nadia, that would be nice. No, that wouldn't be nice. But remember one thing. If he hadn't been to Kimi's, if he hadn't shot the people around him, he wouldn't have been able to rescue Jin.
Correct. Sure.
So it's some sort of course of events here.
Yeah. So, what about 2007? Did you like that? Dogen?
Well, it's
I like it less.
Well, I don't. Well, I like it more mostly because there are some things that happens that I really like. Go with the black one or die. That's simple enough. You can't miss that one, can you?
Yeah.
Saeed should go and stab Locke.
Yeah, that was good. I like that.
Yeah, and that was no surprise at all. Whatever happens there. So that was okay.
Well, I was surprised that the Man in Black didn't just kill Saeed for attacking him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, come on.
And I did notice for the next two episodes, John has a hole in his shirt in that spot, which I think is good.
Yes. So it has happened.
Yeah.
Let's see. Whatever happened to Dog?
Well, Saeed,
he dies, right?
Yeah, drowned him.
And then that idiotic 70s person is also coming in and gets killed as well. Good.
Yeah, see, this is what I don't like about Saeed. So
no, but he's on the dark side of the Force. This is Darth Saeed we're looking at.
Yeah, I just don't know. Is he on a redemption arc? Is he... I mean, did we throw away he fought for 5 seasons to get past being an interrogator, and we're right back to the same...
Yes, he's now full of dark power, and he's actually dead.
Yeah.
or something like that.
I just feel like he could have been the ultimate candidate protector, and for whatever reason they
Yeah,
decided
because
no.
no one would have missed him.
Yep.
Ilana and company suddenly shows up in the middle of a killing spree.
Oh, yep.
That wasn't truthful at all. I mean, come on. If the black one felt like Ilana and those were there, he would have been going for those first.
I think so, but it was okay. I mean,
Yeah, it was okay. And they know every corner of the temple. That's nice.
it had a feel. It actually gave me the feeling of like Star Wars when they're running around inside of the.
Exactly. And I'm not totally sure who Frank is going to be, but it was a lot of Harrison Ford in him.
Yeah.
So let's say that. Han Solo Frank. Yeah. No, it was. And then I had to stop and think. Hold it. Where is Jin at this point? I had no idea.
Well, he's in Claire's clutches.
Yeah, we left him there, right?
Yeah,
here.
I will say this whole season, the choreography of where people are and getting split up and brought back together was very intentional.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah.
But I need to know because he had that bear trap over his leg, and we know that Claire took care of that wound.
Yeah, the island should heal him up pretty quick, right?
Yeah, that's the point. That's the point I'm getting at. Why don't we see just a flash from him? And who's with him over there? We don't know that either. It seems to be no one.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
So, and they are just as well as they are just leaving Jin in that freezer stuff, wherever it was. They're suddenly leaving him totally out of it in the other one. Well, that's balanced enough, so why not?
Yeah, that's true.
I should probably tell you guys out there that I am now writing the columns instead of just writing down notes, because it seems like there has to be the good timeline on one side and the bad timeline on the others, and things happen simultaneously that balance everything. It feels like it, so I've tried that. That's about it, I said.
Yep, I think that's it for that episode as well.
It was, I would say that was the worst one of these three.
I definitely agree of these three.
Yeah.
Yep. It was okay. It wasn't terrible. It just... Yeah.
Next one was a really good one. It was Dr. Linus.
Yeah, I like this one a lot. So this is Ben's alternate reality. What do you want to do first? The island stuff or the...
Well, let's take Dr. Linus
Okay.
stuff. I think that's good.
Yeah. I found it interesting that his relationship with his dad is basically good.
Yep.
I always get a little bit creeped out when you see like a teacher-student having a bond like this.
Yep.
But it was perfectly not anything gross.
No.
The weird thing is, I guess I didn't write down... I basically only have 3 dot points in this column for this, which is Dr. Linus meets the substitute, Ben lives with his dad, they left Dharma, and then Principal versus Ben/Alex. That's all I wrote down.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It was good. It was enjoyable to watch the acting and the dialogue. Yep. And it told... See, unlike Saeed's story, this one told a complete arc of a story from beginning to end.
Absolutely. Just the fact that they left Dharma. Okay, they have been there to that island.
Yeah, they left. It's interesting that they left and yet Alex is still part of their lives.
Yes, but his name is still Rousseau.
Yeah, well, her mom is there working part-time jobs.
Yes, so. But we don't need to see her. We don't need to see her.
No, not yet.
So that combines everything that we so far have seen around Ben and Alex and so sort of Daniel as well, and Roger, of course.
And there was like a nice part where Ben, when they're in the library, and Ben is reading something about the East India Trading Company, which
Yep.
is where the Black Rock is from. That was cool.
Yep. Yep.
So like lots of little references in this
Yes,
alternate.
but that works.
Yeah.
But the thing that really had me laughing good was the fact that the Ben Linus we have learned to acknowledge is a person who is driven by the great ambitions of his life. He wants to be the leader of the island, the protector of the island. He wants to be the boss, the leader all the time. And now suddenly he's a measly little history professor with a doctorate who is trying to take over the headmaster's work. And it didn't really go that well.
No, not at all.
It's so far from the real Ben Linus, as I would love to call it, that I was actually having a lot of fun with that. And then they balanced it with pieces from 2007, where he's totally lost. He's digging his own grave.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, it's almost like the show is trying to say that the island was ultimately bad because everyone's better off without it.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Nobody's life is worse without the island. They're all better.
Yeah. And they've used mail addresses and stuff.
Yeah.
That was cool. It feels like they were old hackers. And yet that teacher he was talking to who helped him, it didn't feel like he was really knowing what he was doing.
Art.
That's totally okay, because the math professors I have met in my life, they are supposed to be the computer experts, and they can hardly know what F7 does.
Yeah, no, I thought that was a perfectly fine Flash sideways. I feel like we don't need to see Ben anymore. Like there's no lingering questions.
No. I have actually that as Ben loses question is my last one.
But he ultimately wins because he knows he's helped Alex be.
Yeah.
So
that's why the question mark.
So
let's go back to 2007 then.
Yeah, this was pretty good one, I think.
Yep.
We have Alana and her team going to the beach.
Yep.
We have Miles basically spilling the beans about what Ben did.
Yeah.
I thought it was really funny when Miles is like, these two yahoos are buried with $8 million in diamonds. I don't need your money. Like, I thought that was a nice callback.
Yeah.
I didn't. And then we see like Richard and Jack and Hurley, and Richard says he wants to die. I really don't understand that. This guy's been around so long. I get his rationale, what he said.
Yeah.
I just feel like death is an extreme jump.
Yes, and it's not the solution. It's never a solution, actually.
Yeah, if he wants his life to mean something, then go beat the Man in Black or don't run
or
around.
help Jack or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Jack also meant with this. But Jack was actually very cool about this. He suddenly started to realize that he has some sort of invulnerability. It's impossible to kill him. And there was something in that told me that he hoped that Jacob would somehow do something. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Hurley was there. There wasn't any Jacob.
Well, Hurley was able to see Jacob still manipulating them into the right place. Jack has gone from man of science to man of faith at this point.
Yeah, again.
I like the fact that we saw Richard looking at the chain. So I'm positive he was a slave on the Black Rock.
Yeah, that was his original place.
Yeah, that seems weird to me that he was a slave, but I think that's fine.
He might actually have been a candidate.
We
don't know. I don't think we have seen all the numbers in that cave.
I think he was not the candidate to be the leader, but he was always the right-hand man
role.
We don't get any of that from this one, but we do see Ben digging his own grave, like you said. That was cool. Yeah. Jack basically lights the TNT to prove that they're both unkillable.
Yeah.
There's an interesting part where John goes to Ben and says that Ben can be the leader of the island after John leaves.
Yes.
Now, is he just saying that to give Ben what he wants, or is that legit?
That's a good question. I'm not trusting John anymore, or should I say the black one. I'm not trusting him at all. Yeah. Everything he says is, of course, to get him off the island. Mm-hmm. Whatever Ben does, if he can just stop Ben from, let's say, working against the black one, that should be good. And they have had, Ben has already been used once to kill Jacob, so why not? Mm-hmm. But he's not a candidate for that job. He's not a Jacob.
I wish I hope this doesn't sound racist, but wouldn't this have been an interesting point in the series if Mr. Echo was not dead and was still around? I have a feeling he would have been the one that killed Jacob.
Yes.
Because of his violent past and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Ben has that as well, but not in the 2004 one.
Yeah. So I got a little bit choked up in this episode when Ilana says to Ben, "I'll have you."
Yep. I thought Ben should just turn around and walk the other way. But he didn't.
Yeah, I thought
that was really strange. Because if we are not talking about balance, let's follow Ben's balance in this case. Ben as a principal, why not? Ben as a killer, why not? That's plus on one, minus on the other. We have Dharma. We had a good time on Dharma, and the other one at the same time he's digging his own grave. Mm-hmm. He's popular with the students, but he's not as popular with Ilana and company. Plus minus again. Then suddenly Linus finds some dirt on the principal. Yeah, but we don't have anything really on.
Well, it's like his plan in that world didn't work.
No.
But ultimately gets what he wanted, and in this world his plans have worked, and then now it's all backfired on him and he doesn't get what he wanted. So
and then yes, that's the final one. Ben loses in 2004, but with a question mark because he has won as well. And then I'm just balancing this with Ben wins in the 2007 timeline with the question mark because has he really won anything? Yes, he's won back his life, of course, but he turned and went with Ilana.
Yeah, I think this is his clean slate. He's
that has fresh. To be. So that means that he has neutralized in both timelines. He's just balanced it up. Mm-hmm. It's not a win or a lose. It's just leveling it up. Let's continue from here. Everything's fine. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's very interesting, but not as much as my prediction of late. Jack and company comes back. Jack, Richard, and Hurley comes back to the beach.
Yeah, we haven't had one of these musical montages in a while. I felt strongly this worked very well for me.
The only thing that worked for me was that Ben stood in one end and Richard stood in the other end, and all the others are in the middle.
Yeah, well, and I like that you see Miles just holding one of the diamonds.
Yep.
So they didn't need to tell us dialogue or tell us the story. You just see him in the background with a diamond like that. I just liked artistically the fact that they. I mean, we have not had a musical over. What do you call it? Montage in a long time that was a positive.
We haven't missed them either. The one we had.
But this was nice. I like
that. Yeah, perhaps it was what we needed.
And
then we have Periscope.
Yep, and a point for you. You called it last time that it's
It just
Widmore.
had to be. It just had to be.
I
Oh, and I tell you, when I saw that and the next episode, I said it to you off mic, but I can say it on mic as well. Now that made it very hard to not continue watching. I have the rest of the episodes in my hand, but I said to myself, no, please don't. You are going to mix it up so you don't know what you're talking about. Please. But it was so hard to not just continue because I need to see more of Mr. Charles Widmore.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of... It makes sense, but I almost wish it was someone else coming.
Yeah, of course. It makes sense, but...
Like, I don't want him to come and save everybody. I don't want him to be the Jacob's ultimate White Knight coming in at the last minute.
Nope.
So...
But who is he? Why is he there?
Well,
First of all,
Jacob called him back. I mean, remember what?
Sure?
Yeah, because remember when John came to
Someone
Tunisia?
yes. Someone is going to come. Yes.
Yeah, and John said, "Why are you doing this?" And he said, Jacob changed my mind or something. Remember?
Hmm.
Widmore said that to John at one point.
Yeah.
Showed me the error of my ways. That's what he said.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Then we had yet another little dip.
Are we talking about Recon, episode 8?
Yep. Recon.
It was... I really liked the flash sideways in this one.
What?
I really liked it, and I did
because it's totally mirrored, yes?
Well, no, just because it was... Yeah, because it was like turning everything upside down, and
still using the bits and pieces from the story we have already known.
Yeah, I love the fact that Sawyer is the undercover cop, busting con men. Miles is his partner. Like, that felt funny.
And we have to make sure that it's not about Miles at all this time. It's all about Sawyer. Miles is just there.
But he's good at being straightforward and keeping Sawyer in line and don't lie to me. And
exactly. He can feel when someone is actually doing something wrong. But that's living people. That's not the dead ones. Yeah. He has no ability with the dead ones that I saw.
And I really loved when Sawyer was watching Little House on the Prairie. Like that. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, Little House on the Prairie.
That scene in that TV show was actually, they have searched long and thorough because they wanted to have just that line.
Yeah.
And they have probably paid a lot just to make sure that they can air it as well. Or perhaps it is an ABC show. I don't know.
Now, I don't really care for the fact that Charlotte was set up with Sawyer. Like, I didn't see that coming. I don't know why it was Charlotte instead of someone else, except just to put... Like, I thought it would be Juliet. I assumed it would be.
Yes, and now we are also assuming that because of Ben has been on Dharma on the island, we must also assume that Charlotte has been on the island with Dharma.
Yeah, and she's still an archaeologist.
Yeah.
But she's not, apparently looking to go back. I mean, she just I think her story's done. They just wanted to show her there.
Yeah.
I think Sawyer, at the end of this flash sideways, Sawyer catches Kate.
Yeah.
When Kate's running. So I think, like the Jin episode, this one's not fully done, although I thought it was a good... I liked it. I liked the flash sideways. So.
Yeah.
But the stuff on the island, I found it to be a little... Well, I found some interesting parts of it. We'll say that.
Yeah. I wasn't ready for what happens with Sawyer when he gets there. The dead bodies, I had no idea. I had no idea about that.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure who killed those people.
No, exactly. It was where they killed inside the plane. There wasn't that many places because Hurley had bought 76 tickets.
No, they had been shot. Like we said, they had bullet holes. Because I don't think it was Widmore. I
Nope.
hope not. That would be stupid.
Yep.
I don't think it was Alana.
Nope.
So it must have been John.
Yeah. But who are they?
They're just the other passengers, random passengers, I guess.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem to be that big a plane. It's only a small Boeing, right?
Oh, it looked like a big plane to me.
You're the flying guy, so you know the best.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not too worried. I'm not too worried about the number of people, but yeah, so
Yeah, okay.
basically John,
we call it.
yeah, John and his team are at Claire's house.
Yeah.
One thing I will say is throughout this whole episode, the look on Kate's face is like, what the F is going on? Like what is going on? I'm surrounded by crazy people following John, doing evil stuff.
Yep.
And she didn't mess anything up with a love triangle.
No.
She was just like, all right, I'm going to go along because something's going weird here.
Yeah, but she can't go anywhere else either.
Yeah, no,
She just ended up with these guys.
her face like constantly made me kind of chuckle.
Yeah.
And John,
But they made her makeup look better this time. I was watching. You can bet your sweet behind on that.
Okay. So John sends Sawyer off to the Hydra. This is what we talked about with the bodies. Claire attacks Kate. I thought that was good. And Saeed just watches. I thought that was good.
Yep.
And then I like the way Men in Black broke it up.
Yep.
Got mad at Claire. That was good. Sawyer finds the body pile, like you said, and then he runs into Zoe.
Yeah.
I totally forgot that she's in this. At
Yeah,
all.
he felt totally solid and valid when she started. She looked like some scared people. So when Sawyer suddenly realized that she wasn't the good person, I really got stuck.
Yeah, no.
I mean, how did you see that?
I'm kind of surprised it happened so quickly. Like,
Yeah, well,
all
that's
in
okay.
one episode, but that's fine.
Yeah.
And well, we don't know that much about her yet at this point, except she's kind of like Widmore's number 2.
Oh, yeah, something like that.
He's there. He's got a portable sonic fence,
Yeah.
and basically, then Sawyer is playing both sides, John and Widmore.
Yeah, but in the long run, he's actually playing his own side.
Yeah, of course.
He has said so a couple of times, and to be totally honest, he just goes where the wind blows.
Yeah, he wants them to fight it out, and while they're distracted, he's going to take the sub and just leave, which I think that's okay. I think that's okay for his character.
Yeah, but I doubt that he can really do it. He has to threaten a lot of people.
Yeah.
But the thing is that Sawyer is still that, as I said, that easygoing guy that is thinking about number one. In the flash forward or flash sideways, he's actually a guy who's thinking about a lot of people, including the guy that he wants to find and kill. But he's actually taking care of his partner. He's telling his partner stuff. And in the bad timeline, he doesn't want any partners. He doesn't even want to have Kate.
Yeah, that's true. And in fact, if he's hunting down Anthony Cooper, is it Locke's dad? Because it seemed like Locke's dad is not a bad guy.
No.
In this timeline. And
if it connects with Helen and John. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm not sure, but yeah.
But I don't think that part is actually really our concern anymore.
No, I think you're right. I think they're just seeding in some stuff.
Yeah.
It's not going to
But it was rather nice they ended up with Sawyer touching Kate in both timelines.
Oh, interesting.
Just holding her arms or whatever it was.
And she's not a candidate on the list.
Exactly. That's really one of the things that I enjoy mostly.
There was one other statement that was interesting to me.
Yeah.
The Man in Black John told Kate or Claire, I forgot now, that he had a crazy mother.
Yeah.
And that seems to be the reason he wants to help Claire, not for Claire's sake, but for Aaron's sake, because now Aaron has a crazy mother too.
Yeah.
It makes me think that Aaron's going to come back into this somehow, and maybe Aaron, is a future Man in Black or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Yeah,
nothing.
well, I'm not saying that you're wrong, but I
Yeah.
did not get those vibes. Again, I felt like he needed to stop Claire and Kate fighting. He needs to stop the people going over to the other side. The Man in Black knows perfectly well where the others are, somewhere on the island. He knows that they're on the
Yeah.
beach.
Oh yeah.
And he knows that Widmore is on the Hydra Island as well. He knows that. And I have to assume that all these facts are there. And by knowing that, he doesn't want Kate to go away, wandering away to this beach or to any other one. He wants her to stay. And Kate has had some sort of wish of taking care of Claire. So he's bonding these two
Yeah.
by making Kate taking care of Claire in a special way because she's crazy.
Yeah, and it was kind of just a line slipped in that
Yeah.
doesn't mean anything, but it just made me wonder: is it foreshadowing? Is it setting up?
We don't really know.
Because
But I would rather wish that no more kids.
I know, but everybody has these kids.
Oh.
I mean, even Dogan
Yeah.
has a kid now. Jack has a
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they all. We talked about this a long while
Yeah,
ago.
oh yes, we have talked about this.
I mean, and the whole nature of the island is like things repeat over and over.
Yes, because it has to be doing it right sometime. Do it again, but do it right.
Yeah, everything else is progress. Leaders get replaced for some reason.
Yeah. So it works in that way.
Yeah. So I think three episodes.
Yes, and it's and the bad timeline, the 2007 timeline, is actually moving forwards. And if I'm not totally mistaken, within the next 3 episodes, we just have to see what happens to Jid and Sun.
Oh, I'm positive we'll find out, especially because they are one or both are candidates.
Yeah. Everybody loves Hurley.
Well, no, well,
Was-
Go ahead.
Wasn't that the next episode we are going to watch?
No, next is number 9, Ab Eterno.
Ab Eterno. Okay.
Which, do you know what that means?
Nope.
I bet you do. You don't?
Nope.
Oh. I think it means from a far distant point in the past, like historical or something.
Okay.
Any guesses what that could be?
It must be some voices from Jacob and the Man in Black somewhere back. And Richard might actually be involved in that one.
Oh yeah. That would be cool. I'd like to see a Richard flashback. Yep.
Oh yes, that's something we have been wishing for quite some time.
Yep. Then we have. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yep. Which one was the next one?
10 is the package.
10 is the package.
Okay, hold on a second.
That could be a Jin episode.
The package. Have we seen or had any packages?
The clock.
The watch?
Yes, the watch.
Okay. And
that might be it, because he had some problem just making it through customs.
And then 11, the title kind of scares me. Happily Ever After.
Oh, dear.
So I don't know what that... I mean, that makes me think of like the end of a fairy tale.
Yeah.
So are the two things going to converge? Maybe?
Well, it is time to do it.
Okay, you said we have Jin that we still need to see what happens to him in the flesh.
Could be
sideways.
in the package, absolutely.
Have we seen everyone else? We saw Rose.
Yeah, but she's not among the candidates either.
We haven't seen Desmond.
No, but he's not a candidate either.
Oh, that's true. I think we haven't seen Mikhail at all, but I think he might be just show up in the background kind of guy.
Yeah, he might do so, but in the Flash sideways.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I
Yeah.
mean. So yeah, so it seems like there aren't many more points of view left that we
No.
have to cover.
But you are pointing at a special thing. These 3 episodes that we have seen. Well, the Dr. Linus stuff is out. I mean, that's the end.
I think so.
We can just leave it there. But both Sawyer, who finds Jin, and Sayid, who
Kate.
finds Jin,
Yeah.
and Sawyer finds Kate.
Yeah.
Those two needs to go a little bit further, but
Yeah.
they might actually connect.
I
You never know.
wouldn't be surprised if, like, maybe Sawyer investigates what's happening with Jin and Saeed or something like that, maybe.
Something like that. Jack's sideways is okay. I think that's dropped, right? I think that's the end on that one. So,
That's a good point. But doesn't he need to either get together with Kate or... So he...
oh dear.
His sideways is just him and his son, a character we've never seen before.
And had no use of.
He doesn't really interact with anyone else except John, but that was on the plane.
Yeah.
So, like, is his sideways just a complete dead end? I mean, actually, we've seen him in all of them in the background at that hospital.
Yeah. And then there's actually one more that we haven't seen any sideways, but he's been in nearly most of them, and that's Hurley. He's been helping John. Is one,
yeah.
But we don't know how. We know that Hurley is rich and he's lucky and all that stuff, but that's all we know.
You know what? You're right, though. So episode 12, not in our next episode, but 2 weeks from now, we're going to talk about Everybody Loves Hugo.
Yes.
So that may be... So maybe there are maybe the two timelines are not coming together.
But we only have like 17 or 18 episodes left, total in season 6.
Yeah. So
it's going to be a rush for the finish then. The last 3 episodes or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, so we have 3 episodes next week. Then we have one more set of 3. And then we have 2 episodes. That'll be the end of August, 27th, right?
Yeah.
And then the finale will be the first weekend of September.
Yep.
And then we might have 1 or 2 more series recap and something else.
We have some special coming up.
Yeah.
Yep. But there are still things missing.
Yeah, it does seem. It seems like there's a few things missing, and then we have to get the final resolution, like Widmore versus John, and who's the candidate.
Yeah, I will put my money on Jack.
Oh, okay. Ooh, I haven't even thought about this, actually. So as of right now...
We'll take it in Swedish crowns, right?
As of right now, it's not Jin or Sun. It's not Saeed.
No, and it's not Hurley. It might be Hurley, but I don't get the feeling.
He's not doing anything, though.
That's the point with Hurley. He doesn't need to do anything. He's always there and taking care of the pieces.
I mean, it seems like it's going to be Jack, but maybe they're going to pull a fast one, and it's going to be Sawyer.
Yeah, might as well. Sawyer is also one of them, but he's not really a candidate in heart. Jack can be a candidate in heart, and that's what Jacob said outside the lighthouse.
But
yes.
So, okay. Think of this though: Jacob and the Man in Black. Both of these guys are schemers. Ben was a schemer. Widmore was a schemer.
Yep.
Who among our candidates is a schemer? Only Sun, right?
Ooh, yes, and sort of Sawyer. Sort of.
He definitely is, but not
at the same level. No,
he is a con man.
Yep. Sun is the biggest of them all. So if you want an outsider, that put your money on Sun.
Well, she could be a candidate. She's not an outsider.
Absolutely. Well, she is a bit of an outsider. She's a woman.
See, and actually, because she has a kid back in the real world, I don't think she can stay on the island and protect.
No, but she hasn't even mentioned that kid once.
Well, both of them seem to Well, they want to connect together.
Yes, and then they will talk about the kid.
Yeah, but it is taking it. I agree. They should be. She should be having some thoughts of what's going on back home. I need to get back.
Yeah, she's been actually having a very low profile in this season. Absolutely, it doesn't really bother me at the moment. But if she's a candidate, then it's a big problem.
So,
if you're going to say Sun or Jin, which one would you pick from those two? Yeah, it's easy. It has to be Sun.
See, Jin has done more throughout the whole season.
Yes.
But he's never been a leader.
No.
Sun, I could see her being a leader.
She even took over her father's company and stuff. So
exactly.
Yes.
We wouldn't see her being a leader, but just knowing she is the leader, I think I would be okay with. But neither of them feel like they've done enough in the series, though.
Oh. Only the writers know, and all of you who have already seen it, of course.
Yeah, and I do know.
Yeah,
but you.
No, I have only seen up to this point, and I will say I will put my money on Jack at this point.
Exactly.
Perhaps I will change after the next episode, and then I will change again because I'm just like any human being. I can always change my mind. But I like this series still. It's not as good mystery-wise as it was in season 3 and 4, but it still is actively holding me, clinching me to, I need to see this.
Just one more thought I had. So Jacob appears to be using Hurley to put Jack in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
So it seems like Jacob is aiming at Jack.
Yep.
And Jack, we know, was the hero from episode 1 on.
Yes.
He's always been the leader. I mean, it's just funny because thinking back to the original script for the pilot, he was supposed to be killed off at the end of the pilot. And yet we're saying he might be the ultimate guy.
Yeah. But it feels okay. It's not the best one, but it feels okay. But he has been reluctant. He's been the man of science. He's been a lot of stuff on his way. So, yeah, why not? It's fun to see anyway. But as you also said, Jacob has set his mind on Jack. That doesn't mean anything because Jacob isn't the island. The island needs to have a say in this. Otherwise, I will be totally disappointed.
So, oh man, I wasn't planning this, but you just said another thing. So is the island a character? Because it seems like all of the healing stuff has been Jacob's doing. All of the monster stuff has been the Man in Black.
Jacob needs to have his powers from something. He can't just have it because he's not born at some strange place in space. He's just a normal guy who's given those powers by accepting the role as the island's caretaker.
Okay.
I would say so. I can't really see the other way around. And for me, it's still the island is a character itself. Yeah, because of its potential. And you can't say that the Man in Black has any potential at all. And Jacob aside, he's not getting much done except for the things that he can do thanks to the island.
Yeah, I like the concept of the island as a character, but I do feel like they have now explained all the supernatural stuff as coming from one of these two guys.
Yeah.
Although,
but
then again, there's the water that heals and stuff, so maybe that's,
I'm not totally convinced.
Yeah. Just something that popped up in my head as a question.
Yeah, well, that's good, because normally it's popped out after we have turned off our mics.
Well,
that's how it usually is.
So,
right, okay. We are clear. Yeah. We are going to see the next 3 and be back next week.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.